of June, and it's a Wednesday. And we got just under 30 minutes to the NY Open. Go to the charts in a bit. Just a second. Okay. Let's start with the calendar. So today we have unemployment claims at 8 a.m. EST. So that's, sorry, 8:30 a.m. EST. So we're going to wait for news, right? Yeah, it's about 55 minutes from now. We're going to wait for news. It's not going to do much, but it's still a red news folder. Um, I think price is going to range until the interest rate decision comes out and the FOMC meeting minutes, the FOMC statement, which is or the press conference 30 minutes after that, right? So with the interest rate decision comes a statement, and then 30 minutes after that is a press conference, and that's when you're going to have some volume coming. Until then, it's very likely we're going to be stuck in a range. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the daily. On the daily, we have a doji. All right, so the previous daily candle, the day before this, price closed strong bearish, pushing down from 3450, and then yesterday we had a doji, right? It opened and closed almost at the same price. Price is ranging, right? And if you look at the 4-hour time frame, it's very ugly. We've been in this range for the last possibly 44 hours, right? We're just moving sideways, nothing's happening, right? Um, yeah, it's about 130, 130, 140 pip range, probably less than that, maybe about 125 pip range that we're stuck in, and price is just bouncing up and down within that range. Okay, there's nothing much happening on the 4-hour or the daily, or for that matter on the 1 hour or the 30-minute either. All right, there's nothing happening on any of these time frames. From the 30-minute all the way up to the daily, there's nothing happening. We're moving sideways. All right, let's go to our trading chart. Okay, that's where we left off yesterday. Price did come to the sniper entry and then dropped all the way down to 3367, right? This was a trade that we were talking about. I was uncomfortable taking a pending order here because this candle closed bullish, but I said at the stream, when I said if you want to take a sell here, wait for a 15-minute tradable back candle to close forming resistance, and that's exactly what happened. Once this candle closed on the pullback, I got in and I took out partial positions here at about 150 pips. That's at the 3 RR level, and then held the rest for 36 3367, which is about 250, 245 pips, right? That was the trade that I took. And that's the only trade that played out. Then there was a 30-minute perfect trade as well here. That's a 30-minute support formed and a tradable bull candle closed from 3367. That's a perfect trade as well. Price came, and if you draw the fib, so this candle closed at 18. That's when this candle opened. So if you go to the 15-minute time frame, and if you draw the fib, so the candle closed here. This was the close of 30-minute candle on the 15-minute time frame, and then this is the most recent high, and this is the lowest low. This candle broke this low broke this low, right? So those are the two most recent low breaks, and this is the most recent high of a 15-minute candle that broke a previous low, right? I hope that makes sense. This is the most recent high of a 15-minute candle that broke a previous low, right? And this is the lowest low of those candles that broke previous 15-minute lows. This one is the lowest low, right? That's how I draw the fib. And price came, tapped the optimal entry, perfect tap of the optimal entry, push straight up back to the liquidity candle, and that's where you should have got out if you took that trade, right? That was just about 15 minutes after. Yeah, it was about, I think about about an hour after we ended the stream. I think this trade it worked out just about an hour. That's about 150 pip move up. Got out at the liquidity candle, right? That's a good place to get out because price moves from liquidity to liquidity. All right. Okay. Let's get rid of this and start our zones again today. I'm going to get rid of all of this. We'll start fresh. Since we have time, we'll start fresh. Let's get rid of this also. Let's keep that. Okay. So on the 4-hour, it's just ugly, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 candles. Almost 48 hours. Let's say about 46 hours price moving sideways. 46 hours, that's all that happened. Prices move sideways, okay? So we're going to have to look at the 1-hour time frame on this, right? Regardless of price coming from psychological round number or not, or a weekly SR level, we are bouncing between these two. But we have to go to the 1-hour because there's nothing on the 4. There's absolutely nothing, right? There is a base here and a drop, but it's ugly, okay? We can start with that. We can start there. But we have to go to the, yeah, so this is the leg out. That's a sort of a base, and I don't know what the leg in is because that's all in a range. So we have to go to the 1-hour, right? Okay. Okay, now it gets better. The picture gets a little more clearer. That would be the high because of that range. But here we have a clear base, a rally, a base, and a drop. So we can push this up here, right? And price has spent a lot of time in this. So that's the top of the range. And this is, this is the top of the zone, and this is the bottom of the zone, right? If you look at the 30-minute, you can even push it further up here. Let's keep it on the 1-hour. 1-hour is good. It's 145 pip, yeah, it's okay. So this is 518. This high is 570. 097, sorry. Yeah, so that is 1 hour supply. It's very likely that price is going to just, once we draw zones, we'll see the top of the zone and the bottom of the zone. And once we do that, it's very likely the price is going to stay in that range until the interest rate decision, right? I'll probably trade the interest rate decision today because I like when price when you see price stuck in a range, then it comes into the range, grabs liquidity, then you know where price is going. It's going to go out of the range, right? You're going to go. It's going to, if it grabs enough liquidity, either at the bottom or at the top, then it's going to break. If it comes down, grabs liquidity, if you start seeing confirmation or the price has grabbed liquidity, support form, tradable candle close, then you know price is heading up and it's going to break the up and head further high, right? So you'll get a lot of RR. And the same goes for sells. If price is stuck in this range and finally comes here and grabs liquidity from a liquidity candle or a liquidity level during news, and we start seeing 30-minute resistance form or 15-minute resistance form and a 15-minute tradable, back candle close, then we know that price is going to come to the bottom of the range, break the range, and go further down, right? And again, you'll get high RR on those trades. Okay, so we have a supply zone there on the 1 hour. Let's look at demand. It's still this zone here, this rally, 3 basin candles and this rally, but price has come deep in. So we've come 30-minute. This is ugly. Yeah, there is a base here. It's a base here. Show it in a second. This one right here. There's a base here. A drop, all basin candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a push up, and then we came deeper in. We formed another. We came deeper into that. So we came here, and then we pushed back up and formed support. We formed a 30-minute demand again here, a drop based rally, right? So that was one. Then we came here and we formed a drop and a rally, and then we came back here and formed a drop, a base, and a rally. So that's the most recent one, right? So I'm going to draw that. So this would be the low, the 618 would be the low of that zone. And here would be the open, would be the top of the zone, 7830. Yeah, and that's a 30-minute, that's a 30-minute zone. M30 demand. Okay. I'm going to bring this down so we don't overlap this. This low is 6618, 65. This is a high liquidity zone. Price hasn't come there yet, so let's extend this liquidity candle to the right. These are from the previous, I think this was drawn last week, maybe? Yeah, last week. Actually, at the beginning of this week, on Monday. And I'm going to extend these zones for later on. For whoever's trading the interest rate decision, you can use these zones. They'll work pretty well. Okay. Yeah, we're covered about 650 pips to the downside. That's good enough. That's good enough. So if we are pushing down today and we start, we'll have to see if there's a liquidity candle here. But if we get past here and if there's a lot of volume, then we could push straight to 3350 or even further down. We got these two candles stacked up on one on top of the other. And I've said it many times, if there's a lot of volume, when candles are stacked, when liquidity candles are stacked up like this, one on top of the other or one below the other, uh, price has tapped them on the way, right? So this liquidity candle has been tapped on the way up, right? And this one here has been tapped again here to push up, right? So if there's a lot of volume, we're going to go through both of them and head probably to 3332. Okay, so we have a supply zone here and a demand zone here, and that's it, right? Everything else is from uh, previously a couple of days back. Just going to extend this also to the right. We'll extend this as well. Let's take a look at this on the 4. Yeah, that's a zone there. Okay, now we've got these two new zones. Let's see if this is a high liquidity zone. So yes, the price has taken out. There was demand here, drop based rally. Price came down, took out that, then it came several times. So yes, that's a high liquidity zone. And this one too, we've come up. Yeah, so there was a drop, a base, and a drop here. Price has come up, it's taken out that high there. There's a base again here, rally base and a drop. Price has taken that. That's a high liquidity zone too. And it's very likely that's where we're going to be stuck. We're going to be stuck between these two for until news later, second half of NY session today. Very likely. Okay. Now, let's see if we can identify a high liquidity candle. There was one here. Let's see if it's the same one. On the 1 hour, that's still the largest candle right there. There's nothing larger than that. On the 30-minute, I doubt there's anything larger than that either because price has just been ranging here. So it's still this candle. We'll have to go, I think we had it drawn on the 1-minute time frame. Yeah, it's still that candle. That's the largest. This is the largest candle right here. It's a 270 plus pip candle. On the 5-minute, it's still the same candle. Still that big candle right there. Now it's dropped to about 200 pips. And on the 1-minute time frame is where we get the correct candle right here. 321982. Yeah, that's the candle right there. The price has been tapping that for the last 2 days, right? We, we dropped down, came once, dropped down twice, came down 3 times, 4 times. You can say this is 5 times, maybe 6 times, 7, 8, 8 times, 8 times that liquidity candle because we're just ranging and we're still below the EMAs. Okay, let's see, look for a liquidity candle in here. Now, this is a wick. Whenever there is a liquidity wick from a liquidity level, I always say that start with that as your liquidity candle. That's the best place to start. The best place to start. Right, the wick right there. It's a huge wick that was formed yesterday. Yeah, about 170 pip wick. Let's go to the 15-minute candle, keeping that. There's nothing on the 15. Go to the 5-minute. $75. Yeah, this one right here. 676925. Let's take a look at the 1-minute as well. Yeah, I would go with the 1-minute here. 57 pips. Yeah, I would go with this 1-minute. Let's take a look at this to the left. Yeah, yeah, perfect. 1-minute. So there's a 1-minute liquidity candle in supply and a 1-minute liquidity candle in demand. $195,624. That's a great Asian session trade, but no pullback. Great trade, but no pullback to go up. If you took the breakout, fantastic. We tapped into the liquidity candle, 15-minute bull tradable bull candle close, and 15-minute support form and tradable 15-minute bull candle close. If you took the breakout, straight up to liquidity, 3,400 or the liquidity candle. You can take partials here and then the rest there. Yeah, but we're ranging right now. Okay. That's it. That's the analysis, right? We're going to take a look at what price has done in the Asian London session. Sorry, you can't hear me? Yeah, can you hear me now? Is it clear now? Am I? Let me know if you can hear me now. Or if still the volume is, if you still can't hear me. Okay, I'm going to continue, assuming the volume is fine. Yeah, so there is a 1-minute liquidity candle here, 1-minute liquidity candle here. Price came, tapped it in the Asian session, pushed up. We are ranging. We are stuck between this range. If you look at the 30-minute time frame, there is resistance. Let's look at the 1-hour time frame. It's better. Too many candles on 30-minute. Yeah, yeah. This would be that would be the top of the range, and yeah, this would be the bottom of the range. Yeah, so that's the top and the bottom, about 150 pips, roughly about 150 pips. If you go down to the 15-minute, yeah, yeah, that's the more or less that's the range. The price has been stuck in for the last 40 odd hours. We've traded above the range, then we've come back and traded inside the range and just stayed inside the range just a bit above, then back below. We go below, come back inside. So that's the meat of the move is happening. The trading, the majority of the trading is happening here. Yeah, yeah, about there, and yeah, that's the about 135, 130, 140 pip range. That's where that's where price is ranging, right? Is the volume good now? Can you hear me? Is everything clear? Something wrong with the volume, the audio? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. Now, these zones that we've drawn, still got about a minute to the NY Open. These zones that I've drawn, right? I'm going to zoom out here, are good until end of day today, right? Until news comes out. Second half of NY session, there's going to be the interest rate decision, and then 30 minutes after that is the press conference. So until then, these zones are good. The liquidity levels are good. The liquidity candles are good. Price will react to one of these, right? We'll come tomorrow. You can take a screenshot of this chart, but I'll leave this as is. We'll come back tomorrow when we do our recap, and we'll see exactly where price reacted, right? During news. Which level did it react to? Anyway, let's get on with the analysis. Let's see what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Just save this. Okay, so this is where the market opened. Yeah, we opened at 3392, roughly around 3391.93 or 3392. Doesn't matter, we're just ranging right now. Nothing's happening since the last couple of days. Okay, so what I'm doing now is we're gonna mark the Asian highs and Asian lows. Okay, if you've been on the stream, if you watch my streams, I do this as a part of the analysis. The reason I do it is it gives us an idea what price could possibly do in the end the first 2 to 3 hours of the New York session. That's the reason I do this. Triple eight. Zero three. Seven zero. 710. Okay, so in the Asian session we moved roughly about 180 pips. In the London session, we moved about 220, 230 pips, right? 180, 230, not much, almost the same, right? In both sessions, we're just stuck in the range. So in the Asian session, we pushed down, came to the bottom of the range, we pushed back up in the Asian session again. So there was two moves in the Asian session. There was a move down and then a move up. And then in the London session, there was a move down, and then again, we pushed back up to the EMAs and we are ranging and we're trying to push back up again, right? So let's take a closer look at what has happened in the Asian and London sessions, right? So yesterday, price was bullish. We tapped here, created a big liquidity wick and a liquidity candle, and price was pushing up, right? Then we came down, we started to range a bit. We came tapped the EMAs in the second half of the NY session. Then we pushed down from the EMAs, came back, ranged here, and when the market opened, the price gapped up. It gapped up about 30, 35 pips and pushed straight into the liquidity candle again, right? Then from the liquidity candle, we formed 30-minute resistance and pushed straight down, right? Back to this area, ranged again at that area because we ranged there before. We came here, ranged again, then came pushed up. We created the Asian high, came pushed down, ranged, came back to retest the Asian high or to push back up. We couldn't. That was a perfect trade to take. 30-minute resistance formed here, and the pullback to take the trade to come to the liquidity candle, right? In the Asian session, as always, there's been all the Asian sessions have been good. The last 5-6 weeks, Asian sessions have been very good to trade. Price pushed straight down to the liquidity candle, created the Asian low, formed 30-minute support, and pushed up straight to the Asian high, right? Past the EMAs, Asian high, and into the deep into the liquidity candle and to 3,400. That was a big move up, right? 290, yeah, 290 pip move up, right? That was just between Asian and the Frankfurt session. And then we tapped we tapped 3,400 in the liquidity candle, formed 30-minute resistance again, and we rejected that area, pushed straight down below the EMAs, below the Asian high, closed below, pushed further down, tried to come to the liquidity candle, couldn't, came to the zone, tapped there, pushed back up to the EMAs, we created the London low, then pushed back to the EMAs, came back, tapped that area again, closed below, closed back above, and formed 30-minute support, the London low there, and we're trying to push past these EMAs and the Asian high to get back to the London high, right? That's what's happening. Just a second. Yeah, that's what's happening. We're trying to push past. We form support on the 30-minute, and we're trying to push past these EMAs and get to the Asian high to get into the liquidity candle and come back to the London high, right? It's too late to take these buys. If this happened, setup happened um, in the pre-NY or NY open, then I would have taken this trade to go up. But right now, price has already moved up. We formed 30-minute support, right? That's 30-minute support right there. Price has come in and then already started to push up. It's too late to get in on these buys. So we're going to wait. And we're going to wait for news. We've got news in about 23 minutes, so we're going to wait for news. It makes sense to just wait for news. I hope the sound is clear now. And yeah, you can hear me. Anyway, I kind of repeated what I said earlier as well. We're stuck in a range for the last 46 hours. There's nothing happening, right? And very likely, what's going to happen is we're going to get volume with the news second half of NY session today because it's the interest rate decision and the press conference 30 minutes after the interest rate decision. That's when volume is going to come in. I'll probably be trading. I won't be streaming at that time, obviously, but I'll probably trade. I'll probably look at the charts to see if there's a trade. There's very likely going to be a trade. Interest rate decision and then FOMC meeting minutes. So that's probably when I'm going to take a trade because I don't think we're going to get a trade today. I don't think we're going to get a trade today. We're going to just range. Even if news comes in, we'll probably push down grab liquidity and head high again, back to the liquidity candle. That's all the price is going to be doing. It's going to be coming deeper to the liquidity candle, grab liquidity, going up, go up, come down. That's all. It's going to just stay here, right in the middle of the two, right? Right in the middle of these two zones, just moving sideways. Okay. Now, if you look at we did this yesterday. If you were in the stream yesterday, we did this where price could possibly go, because price mirrors what happens in the past, kind of mirrors what, not all the time, but most of the time it mirrors what happens in the past again, right? So you can see this here, and that's exactly what's happening here, right? Range, ugly range here, this bit, 220 pips, same ugly range here happening here, right? Price pushed up, there's a zone here. Let's go to the one now. I drew this yesterday. I'll do it again. 44 to 9. Okay, so price came, tapped that perfectly, the zone, once, twice, three times, the liquidity level 3450, and push straight down. Now, where did it come to? We did all of this yesterday. I'm just redoing it again for those who weren't here. The first level was here, right? Clean drop here. So around, let's say 3410, 349. Yeah, around 3410. Let's say 3410. Safe, always round number 3410. And then the second push was down here. Yeah, around, let's say the support here, 73 maybe. Yeah, 73 or even 74. 74 is better. Yeah, 74, right? 74. And then we have a gap. And the next is here, right? 27, 28 maybe. 28. Yeah, 28, right? Those are from the drop, those are where price is dropping to. You can call them TP levels or whatever you want to call them. That's where price, once it came here and pushed down from the zone, that's where it should drop down to, these levels, right? So now let's go to the left and see where it's come to. So we've come to 3410, perfect tap, then we pushed up, then we came here, 3374, tap, pushed up, and we're ranging. And now, could we come today here, another 560 pip drop to 3328, or is price going to stay above here and push up? Stay above 3367 and push up, because that's where price is right now. It's above 3367. Are we trying to push back up? Because if we start to close below 3367, then we're coming down here to this next, to 3328. Make sense? Okay. If we start to close below 3367, we're coming to 3328. And then the next one from there further on is here, 3,300. You don't need a blue line there. We're coming to 3,300 next, right? That's the next support, 3,300. 3,300 is the next. So if we stay below, if we start to close below, candles start to close below, let's say for example, yeah. Now here's how to trade this. If you're trading the news tonight, if you're trading the news later on, the NY session, here's how to trade it. You can take a screenshot of this. If price, if 15-minute candles start to stay below 3374, right? If 15-minute candles start to stay below 3374, or even a 30-minute candle stays below 3374, then we are very likely coming down here. We're coming here, all right? 460 pip drop, coming down here. 15-minute or 30-minute candles. If we start to form 30-minute support from this area we pull back, form 30-minute support from here, 3367. We tap it again, we go below this and we close back above, then we're heading up again. And we could be heading to 3,400 and then 3,410, right? Could be heading up. Clear? That's what I'm going to be watching for later tonight with the interest rate decision. Right now, there's nothing happening. We got news in about 15 minutes. It's not going to do much. We formed, what's happened so far? 30-minute resistance has formed. Yeah, I'm not interested in taking any trades here. In the middle of these two zones. It's not interesting. It's ugly. Yeah, we formed 4-hour resistance. It's getting narrow and narrow, this area. Now it's 70 pips. Yeah, it's ugly. Just not interested here. Now it's even narrow. First we had the zone there. Now we've come down here. Now we're just in this 75 pip zone. Very ugly. Yeah. Okay. Just yeah. Okay. So we formed 4-hour resistance here. What is this price level? 338650. Let's put a line there. 338650. This is just ugly. Don't try to do anything here. Just leave it. Now 43 minutes with the candle to close. Yeah. Formed 4 resistance there, and now this zone is about, yeah, we've got about, yeah, there. About a 95 pip zone. Not worth it. To take sells to come back here, really not worth it. Because we have a zone just above this resistance, above 338650. We have this area. It's very small, very tight areas. Not worth it. I would wait honestly to if there isn't a setup in the next hour, a clean move, then just wait. Call it a day or wait for the interest rate decision. That's when take a screenshot of this, or you can mark your chart like this. If this helps you, if not, you don't need to. But if it does help you, you can mark it like this, and then just wait to trade the interest rate decision, which is moving sideways. There's nothing happening. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. We've got about 12 and a half minutes for news. Anyway. If this setup happened here, I would be interested. This 30-minute resistance, if it happened up here, yeah, from liquidity candle makes sense. There's A move down about 150 pips down makes sense. Here, nah, just not worth it. 70 pips, not worth it. Could be pushing up, in fact. 30-minute support form, yeah. If price comes to these for the NY session, right? Here's what I'm looking for. If I'm to take a trade in the first 2 hours of the NY Open today, if price comes to this area, forms 30-minute resistance, if you reject the London high, you don't have to touch it, but if you come to that area, to the liquidity candle, and we can't get up there and we start pushing down, form 30-minute resistance and tradable 30-minute bear candle closes, I'm willing to take sells to come down. If you come here and if you start forming some sort of support, if you grab liquidity again and we have a massive wick on the 15-minute or the 30-minute, then I'm willing to take buys to go back up here. That's it. That's all. I'm not going to trade in the middle here. Only at the extremes, either at the top or at the bottom. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay. 8 minutes move for news. We're pushing up as expected. 30-minute support formed. We're pushing up. Uh, let's see what happens with news. Let's see if you get if price pulls back for liquidity with the news pushes continues to push up and then push down, or push down and then push up. Right now it's in the middle. What's this? 014. Yeah, price is just funneling in. Last couple of days, on Monday and Tuesday, we discussed, I discussed setups, the 4 setups, right? If that interests you, then you can watch those streams. The main 4 setup I spoke about, 2 setups on Monday. These 2 setups on Monday. These are buys. These are sells of the same setup. These are sells and these are buys of the same setup. And then on Tuesday I spoke about these 4. So these are buys and these are sells of the same setup. And these are sells and these are buys of the same setup, right? And these are what these setups are called, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the setups. We spoke about these on Monday, Tuesday. And if you want to grab this PDF, then it's there in the group. There is a link to the group in this video, or in the YouTube in my YouTube bio. You'll find a link, and you'll find it under the price action entry alerts topic. And I said we'll talk about this entry rules, but it's pretty self-explanatory, right? So if you watched my streams, then all of this makes sense. I wait for M30 support and a tradable M30 bull candle to close from a liquidity level, or M30 resistance, and a tradable M30 back candle to close from a liquidity level, right? That's what I wait for. Once I do the analysis at any of the liquidity levels, right? And these are the liquidity levels. There are 5 key areas to look for a trade to find liquidity on a price chart, right? These are the 5 areas, right? The EMAs, there are 2 EMAs there. There's a weekly SR level, and there is a BRN, or a psychological round number, and then there are supply demand zones that have high liquidity candles in them, right? Those are the five main areas I look for to take a trade. And coming back to this, yeah, only 2 to 3 pending orders at best price. Basically, once I use a fib, I draw M15 fib from, it's based after the M30 support is formed. I look for 2 M15 lows, 2 previous M15 lows to be taken out to draw the M15 fib if I'm looking for a buy. Or if I'm looking for a sell, I look for 2 previous M15 highs to be taken out to take a sell, to draw the fib and take a sell to come down, right? And then I place 1, 2, or maybe even 3 pending orders at the optimal and sniper levels of the fib. And the safer stop loss is always above the liquidity candle, above or below the liquidity candle, or at the end of the fib, right? And if you just watch a couple of my streams, that all of that will make sense. This whole page will make sense. And then the last one is about risk management, right? That again is self-explanatory. If you want to trail stops, how to trail stops. If you're taking partial TPs, where you should take partial TPs. Yeah, and do not chase price. I never chase price. I always wait for a pullback. I'm not a breakout trader. And then I place only pending orders. I calculate about 2% of is what I risk per trade, right? Per setup. roughly 2 to 3%. Yeah, we've got about a minute and a half. Price is pushing back up to this liquidity candle. Let's see what happens. 30-minute resistance forms. If price comes up here, a 15-minute tradable back candle closes. 15-minute resistance forms and a 15-minute tradable back candle closes. We can take sells to come back down here. That's possible, right? From the liquidity candle, because that's the top of the range and the bottom of the range. That's it, right? Um, yeah, mm, yeah. So this is news. 10 seconds. Let's see what price does. Nothing. Nothing. No move. No movement. Yeah. Form support possibly pushing up. Grab liquidity, push further up. Okay, there's nothing happening. Very likely going to end the stream early today because There's now we're going to push up. Okay, I'll be here for maybe another 20, 30 minutes. 20 minutes maybe. 15 minutes. There's nothing happening. If you push up and we get a rejection, we could come back down. I might consider taking sells to come down if we get if price comes up here. Only if price comes up here to the top of the range at the extremes. I want price to come to the extremes. If it doesn't, if it's going to range here, I'm doing nothing. Right, so I'll be here for maybe another 15 minutes more. I'll wait here for this 50-minute candle to close. This candle to close, yeah. 11 minutes for the candle close, and then we call it. We'll end the stream, but I'm not going to call it a day. I'll be going to be trading very likely the interest rate decision. I'm going to be at least watching the chart because, as I said at the beginning of the stream, once you have a top and a bottom of the range and you have your liquidity levels marked, it's nice to see where price will grab liquidity, because once it does, it gives you some sort of a kind of candle structure, you know, for price to go in the opposite direction. And those are the trades I love to take. Yeah, we're pushing up. We're pushing up into the liquidity candle as expected. This was the London low, formed 30-minute support. If the 15-minute candle closes above the Asian high, then we're heading further up. Let's see. We've tapped the liquidity candle already. Let's see. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, 6 minutes more for the candles to close. Let's see. Just push past this. We've come here. Push past the Asian high. We're trying to reject that area. We've tapped the liquidity candle yet again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. 9 taps of that liquidity candle, of that 1 minute liquidity. 9 times. This is the ninth. Just price is moving sideways. Yeah, that's the range. That's the top of the range. If we close above, close back in, we could push back down. If we come here, close below, then we could continue further. But if we close back out inside, then we could head back up. I'm going to leave that right there. What time is news? Oh, I'll keep it here. Yeah, I'm going to leave this here until news today. Let's see what happens. If we close above, close back below, then we could continue to push down. That's a support. Mm-hmm. Perfect. 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes support. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to leave these until news tonight. 15-minute candle closed bullish. Yeah, nothing's happening. All right. So we're getting to the top of the range. That's the top of the range where I've drawn 4 hour resistance. Also 1 hour, that's 1 hour resistance. That is 30-minute resistance. Yeah, 4 hour to 30 minutes, and even 15-minute, sort of 15, maybe, yeah, 4 hour to 30 minutes to 4 hour resistance. That, and 4 hour to 30 minutes support. So if you close above and then close back below, you can look to take cells to come down all the way down to support here. All right. So nothing's happening right now. I think the move is going to be the big move where price is going to either break outside this and go up or break below and continue further down. That's going to happen with interest rate decision. And 30 minutes after that is the interest rate decision, therefore the press conference. So that move is going to come later on tonight, much later on. Got about 5 hours, 5 hours, 15 minutes. Yeah, about 5 hours, 15 minutes until that happens. Right? There's nothing happening right now. All right. Yeah. This candle will probably grab liquidity and then push further up. Just it's trying to create a bottom wick and then push up further. Okay. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll see how these zones, these liquidity levels, all of these things that are drawn on the chart, how they played out, right? We'll do a full recap of how they played out, and if there was a possible trade to take for news for the interest rate decision and the press conference later today, right? We'll come back and do a recap of it. I'll be back tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST. Tomorrow is Thursday. Is there news tomorrow? Oh no, tomorrow is a bank holiday. Yeah, tomorrow is a US bank holiday. No streams tomorrow. No streams tomorrow. It's a US bank holiday, right? Juneteenth. Juneteenth, right? Back on Friday. We'll be back on Friday. No streams tomorrow. So on Friday we'll come back and see how this played out. I'll save this template, and we'll load it up on Friday first thing, um, and we'll see how it played out. Okay. Also Friday We'll do our usual prediction of how the weekly candle is going to close. We'll do that as well. Still too early. We're very bad. We're kind of bearish right now. We were bullish on the weekly. We are still bullish. We could push up today. We could make all-time highs. That's possible too. It's still too early. It's still midweek. We have 2.5 days more. So we'll see how then we can predict how the weekly candle is going to close. All right. Yeah, we're pushing up. It's game to create a bottom wick. We're, we're going to push up above this level here. Okay. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. We'll do our analysis and then see if you, sorry, not tomorrow. I keep saying tomorrow. See you guys on Friday, 7:30 a.m. EST. We'll do our setups, analysis, and see if, and our weekly candle prediction, and see if we have a trade for the first 2 hours of the NY session. All right. So you guys take care. See you on Friday.